Hello, I'm Stalnaker with Hub Culture, and we are at the Bermuda Innovation Sprint, a pretty amazing two-week program focused on blockchain, AI, and even crypto here in Bermuda. Joining me is Constance Choi, who's flown in from San Francisco and is with the COALA Foundation. You're the director there and a co-founder. What is the COALA Foundation? It sounds cuddly and nice, but you guys are working on some really thorny issues.
Yes, so COALA with a C stands for the Coalition of Automatic Legal Applications. And actually we started as a group of technologists, academics, lawyers at Harvard, really trying to tackle this at the beginning in late 2014. And since then we've just continued our work through working groups, bringing together the best and brightest in the space to really figure out what this stuff is and how the legal system and legal frameworks have to be reformulated to account for all of the vast opportunities that this technology provides. So we have working groups across a variety of different aspects of the technology, including financial regulations, all the way to DAOs and smart contracts. And so, yeah, we're sustained largely by university grants like MIT and Stanford, and we feed up policy recommendations to policymaking bodies like the European Commission and also the UN.
Right, so I understand that you guys have a very special role as an advisor to the UN on blockchain issues and technologies. I'm sure they have a lot of inputs for this kind of data, but talk to me a little bit about what you guys are doing with the UN to help guide them towards, say, good engagement with blockchain technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are, actually, COALA represents a dynamic coalition of blockchain technologies at the UN's IGF, which is the body that feeds up multi-stakeholder dialogue and recommendations all the way to the UN body. And actually, in November, they're holding their annual summit in Paris, and we're going to be presenting alongside a lot of superstars in the space on how blockchain can actually help and support the Sustainable Development Goals for the UN.
Great.
So this year, for example, we'll have Pindar Wong, who is one of the early pioneers of the internet,
Yep.
and actually one of the chief architects of the Belt and Road Initiative, presenting alongside Vlad Zamfir, also a fellow koala, talking about the architecture of Ethereum and how that can support their goals.
And Vlad, I know he's a technical architect and engineer, and he's been responsible for sharding and some of the other technological innovations that are helping to scale some of these blockchain technologies. Right?
Yes, absolutely. He is he's working on the fundamental problem around this technology, or you know, the problem that needs to be solved to allow these technologies to be deployed at scale around the world, which is making sure that these decentralized networks can compute and run as fast as the world requires. So he's really at the forefront of these technologies and innovations.
And COALA is filled with people like this, so it must be a great place for these groups, universities, corporate partners to come to be able to get some cutting edge information.
Absolutely.
But since we're talking to the world here, what is some cutting edge information in terms of the blockchain work that you guys are doing? I know that you're really focused on the legal aspects of these things and smart contracts. So first of all, a lot of people don't really understand what a smart contract is. So could you tell us, what is a smart contract? And then how is that evolving to become relevant for the legal industry?
Yes, so you can think of smart contracts as these pre-programmed instructions that are guaranteed to run. So we call them self-executing. But what that really means is that people can agree on the rules and deploy code that is guaranteed to follow that particular instruction or code. So it allows for all sorts of incredible innovations in being able to set a chain of reactions, so to speak, in an automated way that is secure and auditable by all. So one of the
So it does what it says it's going to do.
Exactly, exactly. And you don't need to rely on a party, a company, a group of people to ensure and oversee that happens. So that really reduces the cost of transactions and coordinations around a lot of these decentralized applications. So COALA is very focused on, we're a nonprofit, we're incorporated in France and also in the United States. And we really try to bring together people from diverse domains and fields of expertise because, you know, like many of the players in the space understand, this is a global technology that transcends jurisdictions, and it really requires input from a vast variety of players in the ecosystem and backgrounds in order to deploy the technologies. And this isn't something that can be done by one company, one university, one country. So we're really focused on making sure that this is fact-based research driving the policies and frameworks that actually will determine how these technologies are used and can be deployed. So one of the really exciting projects that we're working on is something called A-Legality. You can think of it as a legal API that serves as an interface or a bridge between all of these exciting projects that are deployed in the space, in the ether, so to speak, of self-executing programs, applications, and really code, and to make sure that those organizations, communities can then have a bridge to be able to talk to the legacy world of institutions and legal frameworks.
That sounds like some really important plumbing.
Absolutely. So we're doing a very deep dive into looking at what are the policy goals behind the laws, what are the means that are used today to affect those goals, and how do those means need to be translated in order to talk to this wonderful new world of blockchain. So we're really trying to figure out, deep dive into, does this paradigm shift between ownership of things and valuing things just on this concrete form versus this new world where really the true value of all of these projects are really about the connections, the networks, the coordination, the speed of coordination.
Right.
And how can you actually build a legal framework that acknowledges this as almost a new asset class?
Absolutely a new asset class. And then, when you talk about that, I actually start to think about AI, but that's a conversation for another day because, you guys are building some neural connections for the great AI brain. That's another topic. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Bermuda Innovation Sprint. You can actually catch Constance online with some other tips and definitions coming out of the sprint if you just scroll up or scroll down on your YouTube or hublive.tv menu there. I'm Stan Stalnaker with Hub Culture. We'll see you inside hubculture.com and maybe here in Bermuda if you're looking at setting up a company or some operation focused on these new technologies. Great ecosystem here.